Perth's real estate to rebound. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heise here and welcome to another episode of Heise Says. Got my afternoon stein of coffee and I thought we would have a look at this article that was sent to me by a viewer. It's from the West Australian and it's looking at, well, the end to the depressing situation in the housing sector over in WA. And I'll just bring up one chart here to very clearly demonstrate some of the issues in WA. This is the arrears rates, and you can see how it has grown, particularly the 150 days plus portion of arrears from 2017 till now. Look at WA and NT, guys. That's not looking healthy. A lot of those people would also even be in negative equity. That's where, well, that's where your home is worth less than the loan you have on it. So house of pain to end at last. Perth home values are forecast to rise up to 6% next year. One of the nation's most reliable property market analysts say. RP Data CoreLogic head of research Tim Lawless expects every capital city except Darwin to record gains next year, led by Melbourne 14%, Sydney 12%, Brisbane 10%, Perth 6%, Hobart 6%, and Adelaide 5%. Now, the issue that I have with the CoreLogic data is that, well, just with regards to their methodology and the reporting that we've seen of the clearance rates, I don't have much confidence in that. It seems intended to create market excitement, market drive. Maybe that's what this is. I mean, I wouldn't complain. 10% increase in my house for doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, I'll go for it, guys. Definitely. Yep, punch it up, punch it up. Brisbane, 10%. To the moon, guys. To the moon. In a further sign, the bottom of the market has finally been reached in Perth after 5 years of decline. Mr. Lawless said December was on track to be the second consecutive month of moderate property price growth after November's 0.4% increase. He said economic indicators were tracking in the right direction, with job growth, lower unemployment, and an improving resource sector. Okay, well, GDP growth is trending down. Okay, that's what we saw there. Wage growth, I mean, come on. It's non-existent. I need to turn this into a cup, guys. Let me know in the comments if you want this chart on a cup. You know, foreign investment has just plummeted. So, building approvals are tracking down. I mean, okay, job growth was not very strong. I mean, it kind of went up, guys. It kind of went up, but consumer confidence is still pretty low. And we look at business confidence and business conditions, they're still low. But okay. And here it is. Here is the thing. And we've seen this before in Western Australia. And I think in Western Australia, the growth in property is particularly in the upper quartile, the upper end of the market. Mr. Lawless said migration had also turned a corner, taking overall population growth back to decade average levels, indicating an improvement in housing demand. So it's just back to normal. Local real estate experts contacted by the West Australian yesterday were unanimous in predicting overall price growth next year, but they also warned of a patchy two-speed recovery, with the entry-level market in the outer suburbs continuing to struggle because of an oversupply, while the more affluent, established suburbs closer to the city rebounded. So there you go. It's the upper quartile. So this is the thing when they're making these claims, guys. We need to look at it in a bit more realistically. I mean, if you're in inner city suburbs in Perth, fantastic. You're in the suburbs. But if it's all dependent on migration, if it's all dependent on improving resource sector, I mean, what we'll do is let's jump over. I will bring up a trading economics, guys, and we'll just jump over here and have a look. Look at the Aussie dollar. It's shot up to 69 cents at the time of recording, which is, very good for the Aussie dollar. But, there's other issues we also need to have a look at. Now, Western Australia, it is iron ore country, guys. It is like insane iron ore. Iron ore is down to 90.5 US dollars. Come on, come up. So here you go. It's starting to trend down a little bit. It's down at 77. So that's good, but we'll see how it lasts. We'll see how it lasts. We've been through years of pain in the WA market. And we are finally going to have some time in the sun, forecasting analysis, Gavin Hegney said. He expected growth in the top end of the market to be 10 to 15% next year. He predicted 10 to 15%. He predicted 2020 would be the year of the middle ring. With low interest rates and an improving rental market set to drive up house prices about 10% in areas within 20 kilometres of the CBD. At the other extreme, in the outer ring, there are 13,500 homes at risk of defaulting, he said. So, what we're seeing here, just the embodiment of a two-speed economy, of a continuing divide between those that are the wealthy and those that are not. What do you think, guys? Where do you think it's going to end? Those suburbs are still 12 months away from reaching the price base. Real Estate Institute of WA President Damien Collins said he expects Perth's median price to grow 3 to 4% next year, with gains of 6 to 7% in the inner circle and western suburbs. So I'll just move this over so we can see it. That's a bit of a jump, isn't it, guys? If we're thinking about this, about property growth. We certainly think it's going to be a year of return to growth, but it will be patchy, he said. At the high end of the market and the near city suburbs, the excess supply has pretty much been taken up. At the lower end, in new subdivision areas like Baldivis and Ellenbrook, prices are not yet rising. Since mid-2014, Perth home values have fallen 21% to a median house price of $479,000. This is written by Damien Collins in the Western Australian. So, guys, what's your take on this? Particularly those of you that are from Perth. How are you finding it? You know, do you have a property in the inner ring? Are you having trouble selling? What do you think about the claims of, record gains? Melbourne 14%, Sydney 12%, Brisbane 10%. Will it be everywhere, or will it just be in the inner ring? I mean, I would love for Brisbane to shoot up 10%. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not being contradictory to everything that's presented here because I've got a vested interest in property going down. I've got a home, I've got a mortgage. I'd love it to shoot up in value. Our big plan for the next couple of years is just pretty much renovating and extending our home, turning our 4-bedroom old Queenslander into an 8-bedroom bigger Queenslander. Lift up, build under. That's our plan. So if it goes up, fantastic. But I'm skeptical of it. When I just look at the information that's put in front of us, when I'm building approvals, when I see that, I'm thinking, okay, that's going to flow through to the rest of the construction sector. That'll affect a lot of this. How many of the people are investing in these properties? And we've got foreign investment as well. That's shot down. And I know a lot of property. Well, 57% of our wealth is in housing, in property. A lot of that is from our super sector. People putting their super into it and then having to invest somewhere, so they'll stick it in a house. That's something we know. It's part of the Australian culture. Is that enough to facilitate this growth? What if unemployment keeps going? What if we have problems there? What if our wage growth just stagnates even more? Most of the growth we've seen has been in the public sector compared to the private sector. And a lot of that has been in the health parts of the economy. So, what do you think, guys? Let me know what your opinion is. If you're in Perth, do you reckon it's going to hit? Do you think these predictions are on point? Or do you think they're a little bit too optimistic? What do you reckon? I tell you what, I would love if Brisbane went up 100%. We should catch up to Sydney. My little Queensland shack should be worth $1 million. That's fine. Then I'll probably convince Rachel to sell and move, but I doubt she'd do that. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you're a fan of the channel and want to help us produce more content, we have a Patreon where you can make a small monthly donation. We also have Amazon and eBay affiliate links. and also for Independent Reserve if you're into crypto. And finally, we have our own merchandise, pocket squares, handmade here, that you can get from the Heise Says blog. Take care, guys. Have a great day, and I will talk to you all later. Bye for now.